It's Anthony with Land Title. I just wanted to bring you the first to know update. Happy New Year. Let's take a look at what happened last year and get into some of the realities of what we're facing, what's coming. So I think if we just start with a dose of optimism here, the interest rate drops that we've seen over the last month or so have been amazing. And now that we're bouncing around somewhere around a 6.6% national average, this is going to be really exciting going into 2024. Now, the big thing here is interest rates do need to come down a bit more before the floodgates open up. But what this does suggest is it does suggest decent buyer activity, at least through the spring market. So excited to see that. Now, let's get into a dose of reality from last year, because obviously it was a tough year, right? Way decreased amount of sales volume. Here we are, we're looking at the sales prices, and we're bouncing around somewhere about right where we were a year ago. Minus 2.7% is the average single family price year over year from last December. If we get over the townhouse condos here, take a look at this, bouncing around a little bit. Obviously, 7.5% seems a little extreme since we've seen it bounce all over the place, but we are, kind of right in that same line, minus 2% on our median close price for condos. Now, I like to say that with, something in mind behind the scenes, right? Because we got to read into these numbers a little bit. But if you look at our price per square foot, these are always kind of a good second guess about what's going on. So as we're looking at, behind the scenes, the average price per square foot, minus 4.8% for the year over year for single family, minus 10% for condo. Obviously, that seems a little extreme, but you can see the trend line, that dark blue line. It was 2023, and we're just a little below where we were about a year ago. So that being said, what does this mean for everybody? Now, if we have more buyers coming into the market, we're going to have a supply shortage. You can see it here where active units are at 613. It's the lowest point in the last 5 years outside of that extreme craziness back in 2021. We're down 20% from this time last year. That's active units. Now, new units coming to market have kind of been in the same mix. They were up a little bit, but 14% was so marginal that it was actually only about 19 units. Now, this time last month, because we're in that seasonal slowdown where it's just kind of tough to sell in December, 272 was the number for November. So normal seasonal behavior here, I think, is what I'm trying to reiterate. Now, if we look over at the demand side, right, we've had this muted level of demand over the course of the last year. You can see that not quite as muted as like a 2019 or something like that, but we are seeing a little bit slower than we did last year. Now, our year over year number, 30%, 32% increase in under contracts. That's a really good sign going into the new year. That largely could be due to some of these interest rates, just the fact that, the buyer pool is really necessity buyers from what it feels like. I feel like we've said the word divorce more times than we know what to do with this year, because we have so many of those clients, out of state people paying cash, right? The kind of stuff that, kind of is good in any marketplace. Now, the big problem with this is our month supply of inventory is now down below 2 months of inventory again. And unless we see a lot of sellers come to market here in the springtime, which hopefully we have a little bit of a surge of inventory, but if buyers start coming to market sooner than sellers, this is going to continue to erode our month supply of inventory, and we're actually just going to have a bigger and bigger inventory shortage. That being said, that's going to be great for housing prices. It's going to be really good for your buyers and sellers out there. If you look at it right now, this is the lowest average days in MLS we've had in a while. So it's taken 60 days on average for a home to go under contract. Expect January to be a little slower than that, and then we'll be off to the races for the springtime. But that being said, this is a 30% increase in time on market from what we had a year ago. Now, the close to list price is right in line with where we were, but the big difference is 97.3% doesn't tell the whole story, right? We've had price decreases that don't take into account there, and almost 50% of all of our deals are having concessions tied to them. So those sellers are giving a little bit of money back on top of the little bit of a haircut they're taking. So it's been a challenging market in 2023. The nice thing about this is there's a lot of good things to look forward to into 2024 as things start to course correct a little bit here. So don't forget to tune into the other videos, subscribe to the channel. If you need other information, I'm happy to get you all the other local insights around the area. So hit me up if I can help, and Happy New Year.